sure you all know about execution and the many ways it can be done legally, or the ways that used to be legal but no longer are. And getting straight into it, these are the top 5 worst execution methods in history, in order. And this is my personal opinion. I'm going based on how badly it would hurt, and also taking into consideration the amount of time that it takes. Number 5 is called Ling Chi, or what many of you probably know it as death by 1,000 cuts. And no, this is not like little slices on the skin like you might imagine. This is where the executioner would cut off individual things at a time, such as breasts, thighs, biceps, and sometimes even genitals. The disturbing part about this is that this was used up until 1905. A man in Mongolia assassinated the prince and he was killed by Ling Chi. Coming in at the number 4 spot is flaying, not filleting, flaying, as in cutting, but not just regular cutting. This is where you would slowly get all of your skin cut off, and most of the time they would try to be precise with it, so the patches they were cutting off wouldn't get broken up, like they would stay intact, which is probably the most disturbing part about this. Like, why do you want that? Number 3, now this is the Judas Cradle. You may have heard of it. I think it goes by some other names that I don't know. So basically the naked victim would, yes, these are notes. My videos are scripted. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. So the naked victim would be set upon a sharp pyramid held by ropes that slowly lowered them down onto it, which would end up impaling them through the anal cavity and ultimately separating them in 2. And let's hope they died before that happened. Coming in at the number 2 spot is the Brazen Bull, and this one almost got number 1. The Brazen Bull has to do with burning alive, and while burning alive seems to be what is said to be the worst pain or death imaginable, number 1 tops that, I believe. The Brazen Bull was basically a statue of a bull either made out of brass or bronze, and it was hollowed out so that the victim could sit inside of it, and a fire would be lit under it and the person would roast alive. The architecture on this is absolutely phenomenal. That sounds weird saying this, but it's really disturbing because the smoke of the burning human would get transformed into the smell of incense, and the sounds of the person screaming on the inside would go through these lines of tubes that would go out of the mouth and sound like a bull, like yelling out. Number 1, scaphism. It's kind of hard to get worse than burning alive, but remember, I'm basing this off of pain and the time, and while someone could burn alive for up to a few minutes until they're unconscious due to asphyxiation, but scaphism is longer, way longer. The victim is put in between 2 boats to keep them concealed. The boat has holes for the legs, head, and arms, and the victim is force-fed and covered in milk and honey, and then they're tossed out into the sea, swarmed by all sorts of insects. The reason I believe this is the worst is because it could take up to 2 to 3 days to die. 2 to 3 days of endless torture of insects eating through your flesh all the way to the bone, not to mention eating your eyes while you're alive. And while this usually took up to 2 to 3 days, the longest it took for someone was 17 days. Just thinking about that is absolutely terrifying. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't and you would like to see more content like this. Comment down below which one you thought was the worst in your opinion and why you think that. And if you had to choose, which one would you choose? Yeah, with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Don't do anything to get executed, guys. It doesn't sound fun.